Welcome back to Kids Planning. I'm Peyton, and this is my dad.
And today we are talking about... What are we talking about today, Peyton?
We are talking about my 6 favorite games to play as a family.
Yep, so let's jump right into it. Game number 1 on Peyton's 6 favorite games to play as a family is...
5 Minute Dungeon.
Yep. If you haven't played, it's a real-time game. Everyone has a different deck of cards. They play a different character, and you're matching symbols on your cards to fight bad guys and hopefully eventually the monster. Mm-hmm. And you play it in 5 minutes. It's a real-time game.
There's actually an app which is kind of cool because there is different accents you can do.
Mm-hmm. So what do you like about 5 Minute Dungeon? Why is this game on your list?
I like it because all of these games are fun to play as a family because that's what the video is called. Mm-hmm. My 6 games to play as a family. Yep. But I like the game because it's cool how it's real time and you have to finish off all the bad guys before the timer runs out. Mm-hmm. I also like how there's 5 people that normally the game takes 25 minutes, but plus all the between rounds, and one of them can stop time probably about 30 minutes.
So it's played over rounds. Each round has a different set of monsters and of bad guys and a boss, and each round is timed at 5 minutes or less. Hopefully you do it in less than 5 minutes. And if you don't do it in 5 minutes, then you lose. So really fun game. You also are a big fan of the artwork in this one?
Yes.
Yes, the artwork is amazing. We're not going to take any of these out. I guess you can, yeah. So yeah.
Like, this is the one who can stop time.
Mm-hmm. So everyone has their different boards. The artwork is great.
And then
your first boss. Yep, your first boss is the baby barbarian, and it goes from the baby barbarian through a freaking dragon all the way to the dungeon master. So baby barbarian, you are where did it go? Baby barbarian, you have 20 cards you have to get through. Dungeon master, you have 40, and it just gets progressively harder with each round.
Probably my favorite of these is this one.
It's upside down. No, it's not. The freaking dragon is his favorite. Peyton likes dragons.
Yeah.
So that is 5 Minute Dungeon, number 1 on your list of your 6 favorite games to play as a family.
Number 2 is Hues and Cues. In Hues and Cues, you have this giant color board with like 150 something colors.
Yeah, it's a lot.
We know we have it. We know it's over 100.
480.
Oh.
There's 480. That's a lot more than 150.
Yes.
So how do you play Hues and Cues?
In Hues and Cues, somebody draws a clue card, and there is a color on the clue card that the other players are trying to guess.
Yes.
So the clue giver gives 2 clues. They give the first one, then the players place their little marker. They give the second one, they place the second one, and there's this little thing that shows how many points that you get.
Mm-hmm. So one player is the cue giver. They're giving cues to try and lead the other players to a specific spot on the board, to one of those color squares. And you can give a 1-word clue, then a 2-word clue. We have a tutorial for this game that I will leave a link to below. We actually also have a tutorial for 5 Minute Dungeon. We'll link all of those below if you're interested in learning how to play those. But what do you like about Hues and Cues?
I like it because it's cool how if somebody said, like, if it was yellow and they said banana, then you wouldn't know if it's a green banana or a yellow banana.
Yeah, or an overripe banana, because your first clue can only be 1 word, so you just have to say banana. You can't say ripe or unripe or overripe. So yeah, it's a really fun game to see how different people perceive different colors. I think one of the best examples of that is someone always, like every game we play with a lot of people, someone throws out grape. And half the people go green, half the people go red, or in the somewhere purple area. It is a lot of fun to see how different people perceive color differently.
Yeah, and like once we did sunset and people did orange, red, green, blue.
Yeah, you give a really obvious clue that you think, oh yeah, everyone's going to get this one. And then you see people guessing all over the board because you don't realize that what you perceive as sunset is not the same as what other people think. And because this question gets asked a lot, it's about color perception, not color accuracy, which means that it is colorblind friendly, because even though you won't see the same shade of red if you are colorblind, you still see a stop sign and perceive that as a certain color. So it has been play tested and was designed to be accessible for people who are colorblind. So that's Hues and Cues. Game number 3 is
Machi Koro.
Yes.
Machi Koro is a game where you are people trying to make a city on Machi Koro Island. It's cool how the first one, you kind of always have to make it the same way, but the second ones, it's pretty easy to get different cards, so you make the second, third, and fourth differently than you did the first one.
Yeah.
So for the first one, you have less cards, so you get less money.
Yes. So you start out with cards that represent different buildings in the city, and during the game, you roll a dice. If the dice rolls, whatever number the dice rolls, the cards are numbered. So the dice activates the cards of that number, and you either get money for having cards of that number in your town, or you have to pay other people money if they have certain cards. So it's just there's a little bit of an engine builder element to it. There's some luck to it because it is rolling dice. But yeah, so you have these different cards that represent different buildings, and you are trying to
You're trying to get cards that are harder to get. They use more money, but they get you more money. So,
and then there's 4 achievements that everyone is going for on their own in their own town, and that's how you win, is by doing those achievements. There's a lot of expansions for this game. There's a legacy version of this game that we played over the holidays and absolutely loved. It's just a great game. It's very accessible. We have a tutorial for this game also, which we will link below. It's very accessible for the family. It's just a lot of fun to play.
Something cool about it is there is a card that you can only get that card once. But there is more than one of that card, so everyone can get it.
Yes, and I know that as of recording this video, Machi Koro 2 is coming out soon, I believe this fall, from Pandasaurus Games. So keep an eye out for that. We're really excited about that one too, because we love Machi Koro. Game number 4
is Ticket to Ride.
Yes.
You have probably played Ticket to Ride, and we've mentioned it in a lot of our videos. It is one of the first games I ever played.
Yep. Definitely one of the first modern games that we played.
Yeah. It is like a very, very fun game.
Yes. You're trying to collect cards to match up to these routes on the map and complete routes between cities that match up to ticket cards that you draw. Now, we also have a tutorial for this game. This was not the point of this video, was not to pick a bunch of games that we have tutorials for.
But
we don't have tutorials for the last 2 games, but we have done tutorials for games that really resonated with our family and we enjoyed, so that other people can learn those games. So
we had an unboxing of one of those videos.
Yes, and a Can Kids Play of another one. All right, so with Ticket to Ride, something that we get asked a lot is, should you start with Ticket to Ride or Ticket to Ride Junior if you have young kids? Or it's Ticket to Ride First Journey. And I always tell people, go straight to the full Ticket to Ride. I think Peyton was 4 or 5 when we first got this game. And while the strategy isn't going to be there at that age, the understanding of I'm trying to collect 5 orange cards so that I can put my 5 trains out on that orange route is there. And with younger player, it actually makes the game harder for all the other players. It makes it ups the difficulty because they typically don't play with strategy. They just steal routes that they don't need, and it makes it really hard for everyone else. So I really like playing this game with young players that don't fully grasp the strategy yet, because it puts everyone else on their toes.
Yeah, like I am heading somewhere, but I also have a bunch of other cards, so if other people are heading somewhere, I can place cards and block it.
Yes.
But something cool is when you get your tickets, you can start from one side of the ticket, the other side, or even the middle.
Yeah. And you don't even have to take routes that are on your ticket. You can be really mean and always take the Las Vegas route.
And if everyone has it all over the board, you might even have to go all across the board.
Yeah. So what is your favorite part about this game?
My favorite part is probably it's a great family game. And I love the artwork, how it's a map with a bunch of different colors, like here, but if you can see, you might not be able to see, the actual map is behind the board.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of different versions of this. There's Ticket to Ride Europe. I shouldn't have started that list because I can't think of any of the other ones right now, but there are a bunch of Ticket to Rides. The ones we have played are all really fun. There's a reason that this game is a gateway game for so many people and the game that gets a lot of people into the hobby. So this is game number 4. Don't stack it on there. This stack is getting too tall. Game number 5 is Clank in Space.
Clank in Space is a really fun game that your main goal is to get artifacts from
Lord Radicus.
Yeah, Lord Radicus, which is actually in the background right here.
Yes.
Those are the 4 players on the front that you can be. And it's cool how...
it's a deck building game.
Yeah, you have to go to different things, and it's called Clank because if you do something wrong, then you get a clank.
Yes, you make noise. The idea of the clank is you make noise, and then Lord Radicus or his bad guys hear you and come after you. So you're trying to sneak through his ship. I know there's a just regular clank where I believe you were trying to steal stuff from a dragon. Similar, I think there's a few differences, but the overall gameplay is very similar. So what do you like about Clank?
I like Clank because it's cool how there is a token that lets it so you can go from one teleportation space to another. But if you don't have that token, you can't get there. And that's one of the cool things. But one of the weird things is these different cards have a symbol of Lord Radicus, and that means it calls Lord Radicus. But something weird, the Lord Radicus card calls Lord Radicus. I don't think Lord Radicus can call himself.
So this game, I have a bad taste about this game because the first game, it's a great game. The first game we played, they left me for dead in the ship and just left without me. I got no points. I lost terribly because Jared and Peyton got on the escape pods and just left me there. Passed out in the ship.
I at least kept my points, but I passed out on I would have needed to move one space to get 20 extra points.
That's not how I remember the first game we played. Y'all both got on the escape pods and left without me.
Yeah, he went on the escape pod, and then I got to one space away from an escape pod, and then the game ended.
Oh, okay. And the idea is if you're at least within the cargo bay, your friends can pull you into the escape pod. They didn't wait for me to get to the cargo bay. They just left me there.
Well,
so I'm not bitter at all about it. Y'all could have waited for me. Game number 6 is
Horrified. Horrified might seem a little scary on the outside, but on the inside, it is actually not that scary.
Yep.
I love the art.
Yes.
The artwork of it is really cool.
It is really cool, kind of classic monster artwork. Horrified is a cooperative game. So you have this map, you're trying to save the cities from the monsters. You can play it easy where you only play against a couple monsters, or you can play against more than a couple of monsters. You can add monsters, make it harder and harder. What is it that you like about this game?
I like it because it's cool. It's actually one of the first games we unboxed, which Which unboxing was that?
I think that was like our second unboxing that we ever shot was Horrified.
The first one, I think, was not Hues and Cues.
Hues and Cues was up there because y'all thought it was a dance floor. I remember that. So Horrified. Yeah,
It's cool how each player has a special ability. One of the cool ones is how you can be at one space and literally teleport from one space to another player. The mayor can actually teleport from one space to any space.
And I know you also talked about how you liked the monsters, that the monsters were, you're not actually playing the monster. The monsters are just, they're non-players.
Yeah, but it's cool how they made it how it's like you're playing against a player that is monsters.
Yeah, the monsters chase you. They move towards you at the end of your turns.
They move toward the closest player. But my favorite monster is probably the Lagoon Monster.
The Lagoon Monster right there, yeah. And it's all the classic monsters from the Universal movies. It is a great game, tons of fun. I know that the monster theme does kind of send up some flags for some parents. So we actually have a Can Kids Play video where Allison and I break down the theme, the artwork, all that, show any cards that might be concerning to parents, and just talk about the kind of a parent's breakdown of the game. So if you're interested in this game, you can take a look at that. We will link that below too. So 6 games that you love to play as a family. This is that list.
And these are all so fun.
So if someone was going to start out, because this was not a ranked list, it was not an ordered list, which one would you suggest people start out with if they could only pick one of these?
Probably Ticket to Ride. That's a great game to start out. It's a great modern game to start out. But when you're watching this video, it might not be modern. Because it is an old game, but it's still modern.
It's still in the modern genre.
Yeah. But all of these games are so fun.
Yeah.
I love having these on my list of games.
Yeah. These are all games that are easy to pull out. They're easy to learn. The rules are simple enough that you don't have to relearn how to play every time you play.
There's also so fun, and they're easy to play too.
Yeah. So this is Peyton's top 6 games that he likes to play with his family, which is us, and I'm part of that family. We have tutorials for some of these and some other videos on a couple of the others.
And
we will leave links.
unboxings.
And unboxings, Can Kids Play. We will leave links to all of those in the description below so you can see what other stuff we have on these if you're interested in getting them for yourself. We'll leave links to where you can add them to your collection. While you're down below, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right there.
And watch some of our other videos over here.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.